Hi, we are back on why is love so elusive. And what I want to tell you all is love isn't elusive. And in order to do that, I want to tell you the story of a client of mine, a recent client of mine. She came to me, she'd been with matchmakers, she'd done everything she could possibly do to meet somebody. She lives abroad, she comes from a culture where usually it would be an arranged marriage. But she decided not to do that. So she'd gone against her culture, but her family were supportive. She really wanted to hold out for someone who she really loved and who really loved her. But the messaging she had from her family when she was a child is that all men are unfaithful, no men truly love you. You have to marry a man for status, so they have to bring you the status. And we don't marry well in this family. The women of this family don't marry well. It was a very strong story from a great mother, her great grandmother, her grandmother, and her mother, even her aunties. So although she was holding out for something really significant to her, she also had this big story. And consequently, she was endlessly meeting men through matchmakers, through online dating apps, and also just in life. And it wasn't happening. She's like got a very big job. She's a very successful woman. She has her own status, but she was constantly putting men on a pedestal. So if she met anyone who was, captive industry or earning more money than her, which is what she said she wanted, she would immediately sort of go down in her power and she'd really want them to love her and she'd turn herself inside out like a glove puppet and all her power and all her herness just sort of disappeared and it never worked. So she came to me and did a lot of work. We did together a lot of work on her story around the narratives and the narratives she'd been told about why this wasn't working for her. And I also encouraged her to start speaking up. So she'd gone on a few dates with a man who was a friend of a friend, and she'd known him for a while. So he wasn't a stranger. He wasn't off a matchmaking facility, and he wasn't on an app. And they'd sort of seen each other as friends a bit, but not so friendly that they could go from friendship to love. Although it is possible, but that's another reason. And they went out and he asked her out for dinner and they went and they had a great time. And then he said something that jarred with her around something like, oh, I get bored quite easily. He said 99% of what he said was amazing, apart from this one thing. And so she came to me, she said, it's a no. What we worked on, what I helped her do, was to be able to go on a second date with him, because they'd already been friends, and ask him, oh, when you said that, what exactly did you mean? So she got some clarity. So she didn't get stuck in a story of, this is never going to work. It's really important. And maybe he could have gone on and said, no, I think women are boring or whatever, in which case she'd have exited and he wouldn't be a match for her. But she checked it out. And she came in a really interesting place. She said, I'd really like you to tell me what you meant by that. So it was not aggressive. It wasn't like you're a user. Very calm, very interested, very interesting. And he clarified it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they're dating now and she's super happy. So this is what I help people do. I help them see that love is not elusive. It's the stories we're telling ourselves about love. And this is what I help people shift. This is how you have extraordinary relationships. Okay, have a lovely day. Bye.